Welcome back to this week's AMT Fresh Produce Market Overview. Demand on the markets is very weak as we enter the third week of the month, while volumes for key vegetables like potatoes, tomatoes, onions and carrots remain high. At the same time, butternuts and pumpkins are the standout commodities, with prices skyrocketing due to lower plantings and tight supply. In this update, we'll unpack the latest movements, highlight the risks for the weeks ahead, and point out where opportunities may arise for our growers. This episode is proudly brought to you by Villa Crop Protection, so don't miss a minute. Last week, the potato price increased by 3% to R41.97 per 10 kg, while onion prices dropped to R48.49 per 10 kg. Tomatoes, however, dropped sharply to R5.35 per kilogram, while carrots traded higher on R5.10 per kilogram. The average pepper price came in at R25, cabbages dropped to R1.64, while sweet potatoes jumped higher to R5.26 per kg. Spinach also traded sharply lower on R2.10. Butternuts increased to R11.66, while pumpkins also traded sharply higher on R7.72 per kilogram last week. Garlic also decreased to R74.23. Green beans dropped to R10.13, with the latest cucumber price now on R12.37 per kilogram. We had a good week over in the fruit markets, with bananas increasing to R8.20 per kilogram. Apples came in higher at R12.29, with the latest pear price also higher on R9.36. Oranges also increased to R5.51. Avocados jumped to R22.47, with table grapes sharply higher on R71.83 per kilogram. Pineapples remained sideways on R10.77. Lemons jumped to R6.97, with the latest blueberry price now lower on R72.63 per kilogram. For more detail on these commodities, please go and download our latest weekly fruit and weekly vegetable reports on amtrends.co.za. It's free of charge, but I would really appreciate it if you subscribe to our channels. This week, butternuts are the headline commodity, with prices averaging around R11.66 per kilogram, which is 165% higher than the same time last year. What's important to note is that this price surge is not because of strong demand. In fact, demand on the markets is very weak at the moment. The real driver is on the supply side. Last year's extremely low prices discouraged many farmers from planting, and together with some weather-related challenges, this has left the market with very limited stock, about 28% lower year on year at the moment. Pumpkins are experiencing the same trend. Prices are now sitting at about R7.72 per kilogram, more than 180% up year on year. Again, this is mainly because of lower plantings after last year's poor returns, with volumes also 28% lower year on year. Even though demand is not strong, the shortage of supply is keeping prices at historically high levels at the moment. This is a classic example of the agricultural cycle. When prices are low, farmers plant less, which create shortages, and that then causes prices to spike again the following season. For farmers, this is currently one of the most profitable selling windows in recent years. For retailers and buyers, however, it is a tough environment, with consumer affordability under pressure at the moment. Looking ahead, both butternut and pumpkin prices are expected to stay very high through September and maybe into October, with some relief possible once the new season volumes arrive from around the start of November again. Moving to the overall market outlook, as we head into the third week of the month, demand is expected to stay very low this week. At the same time, there are currently large volumes of potatoes, tomatoes, onions and carrots entering into the market. This combination of weak demand and heavy supply is likely to put these commodities under severe pressure again this week. Looking further ahead, potatoes are the biggest risk. Limpopo is expected to deliver massive volumes in October and November, which could drive prices down even further and keep pressure on this market. Another important factor is the unusual seasonal shift we've seen this year, moving almost directly from winter into summer in the northern production areas. In the short term, the warmer weather could push even more volumes into the markets, adding to the current pressure. But at the same time, this rapid change can also create shortages later in the season, and it may affect the quality of vegetables that arrive on the markets as well. That could create opportunities for growers who can maintain quality and supply during those tighter periods, which can support prices, of course. This video is proudly sponsored by Villa. With world-class solutions like Masterlock tailored for South African conditions, Villa helps you manage risk and increase productivity with research-backed confidence. This episode was proudly brought to you by Villa Crop Protection. For more detailed insights and forecasts, please visit amtrends.co.za and download our latest reports. It's free of charge. I'm Dr. Johnny van der Merwe. Thanks for tuning in and see you next week.